Good morning, everybody. Welcome behind the scenes here at Jamie Riddler Studios. I'm Jamie, and it is Friday. And whenever we have this kind of bright lighting, it means it's very early. In fact, I'm watching the sun rise. Do you want to see? So beautiful. It's been super cold here. In fact, yesterday was minus 12. And so I am beyond, I know I mentioned this on Tuesday, I'm beyond thankful that Boo found her home. Every day I have felt like this is exactly right. This is right. This is exactly what was meant to happen. Do you ever have those moments when you just know this was the way it was meant to go? And besides, even though I miss her and I miss looking out every morning and seeing her head pop out of the cat cubby and be like, yes, I'm here. I do have many, many reminders that I still have lots of cat energy around me. And I definitely have the feeling that they are exactly where they are meant to be. Along with getting colder, it's also getting drier. And that always results in one of Shibumi's favorite things, not that when we pet the cats, we get spark. And when it would happen, I'll be petting her and she'll be purring and she'll be happy. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, and she'll get this look where her ears go back and she looks at me like, what the hell, Miss Riddler? And that just really makes me think of, it's going to be a weird thing to say, but it makes me think of how far we've come. In the first while with the kittens, when we brought them home, they had been in a very neglected situation, and they'd been around some very loud and aggressive people. And so when we brought them home, they were very distrustful of people. And at least for the first 2 years, we were afraid to do anything that would push them away because they hadn't built up any trust. So now I can feel awful when Shibumi and I get a spark and feel sad that she's run away instead of getting cuddles. But I know that our relationship will repair. I know that we will come together again, that she trusts me enough that this was a moment. And one of the things that I have learned from the cats and from building up a relationship of trust is that it takes time, it takes patience, it takes love. And that the more we do it, the more we become like a solid tree and we can weather the winds and the storms better and better and better. So this isn't about being transactional, like I'll keep giving you, so that when I take, it's not that bad. It's not that. It's about really understanding that relationships are active things. They require tending. They require care. And they can develop a culture of trust over time. Even trust that will forgive you when you give them an electric shock. And that just really made me think about, it's going to be a weird connection, but I'll draw it back at the end. I just got in the mail my dear friend Christine Mason Miller's new book, The Meandering River of Unfathomable Joy. It's about her 2 trips to India, and it's beautiful. It feels really nice in your hands. Do you ever have that where a book just has a nice feel? It's got photography. It even has some recipes. I love how she's presented this, and some more pictures. Christine is a wonderful writer, a wonderful photographer, and as you can see by just the nature of how the book is put together, an incredibly creative spirit, and I can't wait to read this. I just got it yesterday. I've just read Pixie Lighthorse's introduction and a little bit of Christine's first chapter. But what draws these 2 things together is she says, can 31 days in India change a person's soul? In a country with 1.2 billion residents who speak 23 languages, author Christine Mason Miller is pushed deeper into an abiding faith around every corner. 2 journeys 4 years apart change her in the moment and transform who she is when she goes back home. Through her willingness to see India as a teacher, Christine is invited into continued postures of gratitude that strengthen her practice of embracing what is and surrendering to the flow of each moment. So Christine is masterful at savoring the moment and drawing the insight out of it. And the thing that inspired me in this back cover is, and the tie that it has to what I was saying about the cats, is, who is your teacher? So this whole book is about Christine allowing India to be her teacher. And for me, the cats, in particular, of course, my 3 studio kittens, but Boo as well, and all the cats I have met on my adventures, they are my teachers. And I'm still thinking about the lessons that I learned from them. One of the most important being about sovereignty, that about the full belief in and commitment to your own right to your own being, your own choices, your own preferences, your own life. It's a deep, deep, deep value of mine, and it's something that the cats remind me of at every turn. So I wanted to bring up the cats and Christine and to ask you, who is your teacher? And it could be a person, but it could also be an experience that shows up to you again and again. It could be an environment. It could be an animal. It could be a place. It could be something specific like trees. So trees can be your teacher. Nature can be your teacher. The city can be your teacher. Your mom can be your teacher. Loss can be your teacher. Art can be your teacher. Anything truly that you engage with in that deep way where you stand before your teacher open, willing, interested, engaged, attentive, and ready to learn. And you may have had this experience where something is your teacher and you are not open, attentive, and willing to learn. So it taps you on the shoulder. It taps you on the shoulder. It taps you on the shoulder, and then it kicks you in the bum. I have had plenty of those things, trust me, where I did not listen. I did not listen. I did not listen. And so it got louder and louder and louder till I had to. And that is not, trust me, it is not the wisest approach. I wanted to also thank you again for all these beautiful contributions to the forest. Yesterday, I was working on preparing for planning day, which is next Thursday. I hope you'll join me. We will spend the afternoon together. It starts at 1:00 p.m. EST on November 29th. You can attend live, but of course you can also participate by the recording if that timing doesn't work for you. And we will spend our time digging into, where are we now? Where do we want to be? And how do we get there from here? And so I was going through the process myself yesterday and just savoring it. This is something I've been doing for years, and I've been doing it for years with Shannon. And yesterday Shannon and I did do it earlier this year. And then yesterday I just wanted to steep in it, as I always do before I teach something. I wanted to make sure that I was right in that experience, really knowing what it means to me, really knowing what it is, really listening for what wants to be taught. My classes teach me. My creations teach me. My creations are definitely one of my biggest teachers. And so as I worked on planning day and started to really see what's up for Jamie Riddler Studios next year, I started to get really excited. And I did it here. And I have to tell you how often I gazed up and just felt inspired by and embraced by the love and creativity that is on this board from this season. You all have embraced forest so powerfully and deeply, and I'm so thankful to that. Thank you to everybody who's already contributed to the forest. If you haven't, you still have a bit of time. I'll be here probably until the end of the first week in December. So if you get something in the mail now, I'll keep checking and see about getting another contribution to the forest. On the last day of the BTS this season, I will announce our theme for the next season, and I hope you'll contribute to that too. I also want to say a special thank you to Alexis, who sent me a package of ephemera, and it's so exciting. So she's sent it to me in some wonderful plastic containers, and there's tons to enjoy, lots of fun pieces of this and that. It's always such a treasure hunt to look through ephemera, and it's very exciting when people choose it for you. This is what we do with the studio yearbook. The people who purchase the first 100, the print editions, we send out 100 packages of just a little bit of sweet ephemera to them. And next season, we will be organizing a ephemera exchange for everybody who is a part of the yearbook. And it's not too late to join us for the winter season. In fact, we still have almost a month until the winter solstice. So come on over to openthedoor.ca, grab your winter studio yearbook. You can still get the PDF, get it printed, and then you can join the community. You'll get lessons on how to use it. And it's a really wonderful, active community of people sharing what they create. And I receive messages all the time about how this simple tool, this beautiful black and white fill in the blank journal, changes lives. It awakens creativity. It helps you savor the magic of every day. And it reminds you of your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations as you gather your inspirations and reflect on your creations. It is really something special, and I hope you'll be a part of it. That is it for this week in the studio. Quite a week. We found Boo her home. Yay. I work through planning day, which is coming up next week. Next week we finish up in the studio. Monday is the last Mindful Monday of the season, and then planning day on Thursday, and then the last journal club on Friday. So we're really starting to wrap up fall. We can feel it. I don't know if you can feel it where you are. It's getting darker. It's getting colder. It's, for the first time, I'm really paying attention to the difference between the beginning of fall, the middle of fall, and the end of fall. Instead of thinking of it as just one sort of swath of falling golden leaves, I'm noticing the details of fall's personality. I guess fall is being my teacher, and I really think the yearbook has helped me pay attention to the intricacies of fall and starting to understand it in all its colors. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I am certainly looking forward to mine. We are taking a trip up to my dad's. Don't tell him it's a surprise. We're going to surprise him for his birthday. Have a wonderful weekend in your studio. Remember, your life is your studio. I hope you'll join me for planning day and build a really wonderful life next year, one that is aligned with what is true and deep and real in your heart. We don't have to just keep going along with everything the way it has been. We can have a say in how it's going to be. That's what creativity is all about. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.